This is Hayes Q Jones, your DVD and Blu-ray baller on a budget, and this is HQ Videos for you. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're a current subscriber, what's up? You greatly appreciate it. Come on in, make yourself at home. Greatly appreciate it. For this week's video, for this week's collection video, I wanted to focus on some rare out-of-print movies I have in my collection. And I love watching these videos because I've probably forgotten more movies than some of you have actually watched. I've watched that many movies over the years, and I watch trailers or I watch other people's videos and realize, hey, I remember that movie. Go look it up and find out it's out of print. So I like to do these videos to give you collectors kind of a heads up when you're movie hunting out in the wild, to keep these movies in mind if they're your favorites. And of course, if you have your own favorite rare out of print movies, please leave it in the comments. Now, without further ado, sit back, relax, have a drink of a smoke, and I'll catch you on the other end of this video. We're back at the Black Cave. Back at the Black Cave. We are back at the motherfucking Black Cave. I'm just going to jump into my out-of-print Blu-rays. I'm going to start with a double feature. This is a Spike Lee joint collection. First, let's start out with the 25th Hour. This is a 2002 crime drama thriller. This is directed by Spike Lee, produced by Julia Chasman, written by David Benoff. This stars Ed Norton, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Barry Pepper, Rosario Dawson, Anne Paquin, Brian Cox, Patrice O'Neal. Those are pretty much the big names, at least that I know. The plot behind this: in New York City in the days following the event of 9/11, Monty Brogan is a convicted drug dealer about to start a 7-year prison sentence, and his final hours of freedom are devoted to hanging out with his closest buddies and trying to prepare his girlfriend for his extended absence. Really kind of dark, little depressing movie though, but it gives you perspective on what would you do if you only had so many hours left of freedom before you know you're going to be locked up. The second part of the double feature is the 1998 drama sports film, He Got Game. This is directed and written by Spike Lee, produced by Sonia Burris. This stars the man, the myth himself, Denzel Washington, Ray Allen, who is actually a real basketball player, Mila Jovovich, which I forgot she was in here, from Resident Evil, Rosario Dawson, you might know her from Ashoka in the Star Wars television series, Hill Harper, who doesn't age at all, Zelda Harris, Ned Beatty, Jim Brown, the late Bill Nunn, John Turturro, Rick Fox, and those are the big names. The plot behind this: a basketball player's future must try to convince him to go to a college so he can get a shorter prison sentence. Very cool picture, a little different. Essentially revolves around a basketball player and his estranged father, and his father's trying to get his sentences reduced, but he has to talk his son into going to this particular college, which is favored by, I think, the warden. So some real kind of greasy, low-down stuff, though, but great movie, though. Of course, Denzel does the thing, though, but both of these are out of print. I haven't seen this in a while. I actually bought this at a normal price when online, I think from Amazon, though. But if you ever see this in the wild and you're a fan of Spike Lee movies or a fan of Ed Norton or Denzel Washington, I recommend you pick this up when you can find it. Spike Lee Joint Collection, 25th Hour, He Got Game. And this is a Touchstone 40 Acres and a Mule production. Next, I have the 2000 comedy fantasy romance Bedazzled. This was directed by Harold Ramis, which I didn't realize, Harold Ramis from Ghostbusters. Produced by Trevor Albert, written by Peter Cook. This stars Brendan Fraser, Elizabeth Hurley, Frances O'Connor, Miriam Shore, Orlando Jones, Brian Doyle Murray. And those are pretty much the big names. The plot behind this: Elliot Richards, a socially awkward IT worker, is given 7 wishes to get the girl of his dreams when he meets a very seductive Satan. To catch his soul, some of his wishes include being, well, I won't go into that. I don't want to spoil it for you though, but fun movie. Haven't seen this in a while. I believe this is a remake of the 1967 movie Bedazzled, of course, it's the same name. I haven't seen the original. Haven't seen this one in a while though, but fun movie. This is an Anchor Bay release, so it is out of print, of course. And another movie I have yet to see out in the wild. I believe I've had this for so long, I probably got just regular price. But another movie, if you see in the wild, definitely pick it up. Brendan Fraser, Elizabeth Hurley, Bedazzled. Next, I have the 2001 comedy crime romance Heartbreakers. This is directed by David Merkin, produced by John Davis, written by Robert Dunn. This stars Sigourney Weaver, Jennifer Love Hewitt, Ray Liotta, Jason Lee, Anne Bancroft, Jeffrey Jones, Gene Hackman, Nora Dunn, Sarah Silverman, Zach Galifianakis. I didn't realize so many people were in here. Carrie Fisher. And those are pretty much the big names. The plot behind this: Max and Paige are a brilliant mother-daughter con team who have their grift down to a fine science. Max targets wealthy, willing men and marries them. Paige then seduces them, and Max catches her husband in the act. Then it's off to Palimony City and the next easy mark. This is a fun grifter / romantic comedy. This is the Blu-ray and this is the DVD. This is an Olive Films production, and Olive Films has been defunct, but especially because it has Gene Hackman, Sigourney Weaver, I can easily see someone like Vinegar Syndrome, Shout Factory, even Kino Lorber picking this up. So it might not be out of print forever though, but fun movie. Need to watch this again. Didn't realize all these people were in it though. Sarah Silverman, Ray Liotta, the late Ray Liotta. You have a thinner Jennifer Love Hewitt. I know she's getting a lot of flack because she's older now, middle-aged, and she got a little thickness to her though. Still attractive, still got it going on. Next, out of print, pick Heartbreakers. Next, I have a 1999 comedy crime drama special interest thriller, Go. This was directed by Doug Liman, produced by John August, produced and written by John August. This stars Katie Holmes, Sarah Polley, Suzanne Kroll, Desmond Askew, Nathan Bexton, Robert Peters, Jay Moore, Tim Oliphant. I forgot he was in here, Tim Oliphant. Who else was in here? Taye Diggs, forgot he was in here. James Duvall. The plot behind this: grocery store clerk Simon occasionally sells drugs from his cash register at work. So when soap opera actor Adam and Zach come looking for ecstasy on a quiet Christmas Eve, they're surprised to find Rona covering his shift. Desperate for money, Rona decides to become an impromptu drug dealer, unaware that Adam and Zach are secretly working for obsessed narcotic officer Burke. Fun, very underrated movie. There's another movie called 4, 5, 6, 7, which is a lot like this. Fast action. I can't remember if it's laugh out loud funny though, but fast action keeps you on your feet, and it's just a really fun movie. Again, I think I probably bought this out probably at a used pawn shop someplace back before it became out of print. Another movie very rarely do I see out in the wild though. So again, if you see this online, and if you're a fan of any of these actors, definitely highly recommend this movie and the next movie I'm going to present. Out of the bunch, I think these two are probably my favorite. Go. And this is a Columbia Pictures release. Go. And my last out-of-print pick is the 1976 action comedy crime thriller, Silver Streak. This was directed by Arthur Hiller, produced by Edward K. Milkis, written by Colin Higgins. The plot behind this, this stars Gene Wilder, Jill Clayburgh, Richard Pryor, Patrick McGoohan, Ned Beatty, Clifton James, Fred Willard, and Ed McNamara. Those are all the names that I know. The plot behind this, a somewhat daffy book editor on a rail trip from Los Angeles to Chicago thinks that he sees a murder man thrown from the train. When he can find no one who will believe him, he starts doing some investigating of his own. But all that accomplishes is to get the killer after him. And I love this movie so much, and this is an Anchor Bay release, so it's out of print. I love Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor. They have incredible chemistry together. It starts out kind of as a romantic comedy, then you get the espionage crime aspect to it, then you get Richard Pryor into it though. So it's a layer of different genres all rolled up into one. Fun movie, and for some reason I have the obsession with trains. It just seems like a relaxing trip just to ride on a train. But Richard Pryor does his thing. They have the iconic scene with Gene Wilder and the shoe polish, and I won't go into detail if you haven't seen that though. You can get, I think there's another version of this, like from Spain. It's called something, or Chicago or something like that though, which is much cheaper. But to find the actual Silver Streak Anchor Bay, you're going to pay a little bit out the nose. So again, if these one of these you happen to run across online for a reasonable amount or in the wild, and you like Richard Pryor, Gene Wilder, definitely pick it up. Silver Streak. And these are 6 more rare, hard to find, out of print Blu-rays in my collection. If you made this far in the video, smash the like, give me the big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, go and subscribe. If you have a Holy Grail movie that you're looking for, DVD, Blu-ray that you haven't found yet, you're looking for, leave it in the comments. Other than that, may the best of your past be the worst of your future. Everyone, please be safe. Deuces.